So, and don't skip any processes. I've seen a lot of people, especially on YouTube, where they show videos on painting, and they have a resin, and the resin isn't even prepped. So it's just like bad. Like the resin is just like has pinholes all through it, and it's missing everything, and it needs to be major prepped, and then they just paint over and it looks horrible. But so the next process we're going to do is we are going to start doing his seam lines. So let me see if I can move this over, but okay. So his seam lines, some of them, especially here, they're inside the leg here. They go down here, over their foot, down this way, it goes over here, and then it kind of crosses over this way, and then goes over there. But, so the first one I think I'm going to go ahead and set is the one on his butt, right here. So he's got a major seam line right here by his tail. And it's just like, it stands out like horribly. And this is a big no-no. And of course, this could take you a little bit while for, you know, depending on how bad you are, but, see, I like using this file because it's a little bit quicker than the sandpaper, but I use the sandpaper after I'm done to kind of scuff up the areas that I needed to scuff up. You know, he's got him down his butt and all that business, down his legs. Luckily, this resin is not too bad. I have seen some resins, though, that are, like, horrible. And it's just a pain in the butt to prep these guys sometimes, depending on, you know, how bad they are. So I'm going to take my sandpaper and I'm going to go ahead and start sanding down some of the areas that may be a little bit more delicate. Like, there's a piece up here by, whoops, sorry guys. There's a piece up here by his mane. Right here. That's not supposed to be there, and it's really sticking out. And I should be able to prime him this afternoon, hopefully. Depending on where you live, it could take anywhere from 2 days to a couple of hours for your epoxy sculpt to dry. It just depends. Like, I live in a mostly dry region, so it only takes a couple of hours here. But if you live in a place where there's lots of moisture and stuff, yeah, it's going to take a while. And a lot of people use, like, hand drills and hand sanders and stuff because it takes less time, but with this method I'm able to get into the areas that I need to make sure that I am getting every little tiny flaw on him. Because if you ever wanted to show your resin, you need to make sure that he is prepped. And this could take me anywhere from a half an hour to, God, like 45 minutes or more, depending. On how bad the area is. Don't forget to get their hooves, because generally the hooves have a lot of impurities on them. Now, with some of the casters, some casters use the stake method, which the little hole that's comes up right in the center when they cast this, this is where they pour the resin in. So then when they take the resin out, there's these giant rods sticking out here. And usually the residue is left over. The little hole that you can see. So it's always good to sand over that to get rid of it. And luckily that one was not too bad. So basically all you're doing is trying to get this guy prepped. Making sure that every little tiny flaw is no longer noticeable. Now, his tail is going to be a little bit different of a story. It does got some, like, stuff in it and needs to be worked on. But the overall the best method that I can tell you on how to go about doing tails and delicate things is to take your time. There's no easy way to get around doing all this prep work. There just isn't. Because I have a lot of people saying, well, what is the easiest way or the fastest way I can go about prepping? There isn't any. If you want your resin or your mold to look perfect and the best that it can be, you need to take your time. I had already started working on this guy yesterday, and I had already taken down a lot of his flaws on him, areas that needed to be worked on. And he's not too bad, but sometimes in the little cracks of his tail, I need to get into and file down some of this little areas here that are causing problems. His tail does not look too bad, actually. Does got some a little bit up here by his mane. Now, I do see an area up here on his mane that I need to fix. It's a spot where they casted him, and it's gone and kind of upset his mane a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a piece of this epoxy sculpt there. And, oh, there goes the heater. And do my best to smudge this in. I'm going to do the same thing up here with another little spot. Sorry about the heaters, guys. My studio is in the room where the heater is. Okay. Luckily, this guy is not too bad. I have seen some resins, though, that I was interested in purchasing, but the problem is that that resin, that particular one, was so bad it would take me probably, God, like 2 months to fix because it had so many pinholes. It was just like major flawed. So, but this is pretty much what I would be doing when fixing up a resin like this. I'd go ahead and I'd finish fixing up the areas that need to be fixed, sanded down the areas, wait for this epoxy sculpt to dry, and then I would sand him lightly all over, then wash him, let him dry. And then I would go about priming him, which I will do another video on priming him once he is ready to go, probably later this afternoon. So, but if you have any further questions about prepping a resin, let me know.